The recent crime wave that swept across northern Berkshire County. A state of anxiety and panic.
Recently, stumbling upon an analog horror series that genuinely creeps me out is a rarity. It's not often that the story, visual effects and voice acting all go hand in hand to create a series that is so unnerving yet fascinating. GREYLOCK, an analog horror series that is made up of multiple different entries. No filler episodes, just 9 incredibly made tapes that keep you glued to the screen. Each tape being very different from one another, yet all capable of adding to such a spine-chilling storyline. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into each episode in order to unearth just what it is that this series is trying to tell us. So, sit back, relax and grab some snacks as we're gonna throw ourselves head first into this terrifying world.
Primary systems online. Meeting sequence complete. Emergency shutdown protocols disengaged. System is offline for time code 0106.
The first tape of this series is a bit confusing. We learn that someone or something is trying to gain access to the computer systems in an unknown facility, with credentials that are not recognized.
These credentials are not recognized.
The only way they can gain access is by logging in as an administrator, which they have no trouble doing and are greeted once granted access.
Welcome back, unknown user ID. What would you like to do? Accessing archival storage form, GBA.
They then begin to extract the data from the system, which seems to kick off a series of glitches and abnormalities within the footage, before hitting 100% and ending the tape there. The only thing that we can really take from this tape is that it's possibly some sort of prologue for the series. This data being extracted, whether it's a breach or not, is the footage and information that we are going to be shown in the next episodes. We're going to be thrown into a point in time in which the events of this series have already happened and someone is trying to recover information on these happenings. Judging by visuals, whatever has happened cannot have ended well. We are shown an array of dark and empty facilities, rooms which were once full and are now empty and forgotten. The voice booming out of the speaker system is bouncing off the walls, indicating that whatever this facility is, it's big, possibly government owned, or at least used to be.
All data extracted to error, no.
Tape 2 places us in the first person view of someone driving their car on a dark and secluded road. The radio is playing the subtle sound of someone preaching.
You dear believer, the words of the late brilliant Charles Spurgeon, who discussed it.
They are exclaiming the importance of not tempting the devil to tempt us. Whoever is behind the camera suddenly comes across their destination, pulling up, shutting off the lights and setting foot into a dark forest. What seems to be a random walk suddenly turns dark, flicking to a distorted, almost alternate reality before returning to normal. These short episodes of distortion are accompanied by the voice of the preacher that we heard in the car. However, what once sounded like it was straight from a church now sounds as if it has come straight from the world below. Upon returning to the vehicle, the person behind the camera is either startled by something or overcome with adrenaline, stepping on the gas and absolutely burning rubber down the road in which they came. Whatever they saw flicked a switch inside of them. Just like the last tape, we as the viewer are left wondering, what is actually going on? The references to the devil, the distortion, the feeling of being far away from any human life. As tape 3 starts, we slowly realize that there is something suspicious going on.
Greetings, and welcome to the Preconditional Protocols and Orientation video system provided by Unit 13 as part of the United States Army and Project Stargate.
The US Army has created a cult-like video made for their testing candidates.
Partnership with Semiodyne USA. On behalf of all of us here at Unit 13, congratulations on your selection as one of our testing candidates.
It provides information on what they are calling thought forms. Entities that have been manifested by someone's will, reflecting the mental state of the one who created them. We are told that they are mostly apparitional and can compare with ghosts, as they can be contacted through Ouija boards. It is here that the group Unit 13 are introduced. This particular group focuses on using thought forms in a manner that would benefit American society. Dr. Bernard Hayes is appointed and aids in the making of the Thought Form Manifesto. They are evidently undergoing this research as we speak. It's as though they already have some of these contained and are speaking from experience, not theory. However, with that being said, the video concludes and we are once again wondering what is going on. One thing we do know is that there is something deeply concerning happening, which the government seems to be allowing. Are the facilities we saw in the first tape Unit 13 facilities? Did whatever was happening there spiral out of control? Tape 4 throws us back behind the camera again, in point of view of someone potentially searching for something. Once again, the area seems secluded. It's the middle of the night and we are slowly approaching a house. Some of the lights have been left on so we can clearly see inside. Is there something hiding in the house? Maybe a thought form? Someone or something related to Unit 13? Unbeknownst to us, the person behind the camera opens up the window and ventures further inside. As we approach a set of stairs, the person behind the camera comes to a halt. It's as if they're unable to decide whether or not they actually want to go up them. But they do. And I must warn you, the audio you're about to hear is extremely distressing. We learn that whoever or whatever is holding this camera was not in fact searching for something, but instead had something a lot more malicious planned. They flee on foot back the way they came, away from the house, leaving behind whatever monstrosity they have just committed, revealing a full moon through the branches of the trees.
We interrupt our current program at the request of the Massachusetts State Police. This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. All normal broadcasting has been discontinued during the emergency. This station will broadcast official information, news, and instruction for Northern Berkshire County, Massachusetts, after the following tone.
At 3:34 a.m., Massachusetts State Police confirmed the presence of a potential group of active and unidentified home invaders who have targeted 49 residences since approximately 11:15 p.m. last night. The attacks appear to be random, spanning across the towns of North Adams, Cheshire, Savoy, and Windsor. Residents are urged to take the following actions immediately.
We learn that the victims we just heard in this video are not the only ones. It's a statewide emergency. The emergency broadcast system urges the people of the state to secure their house and arm themselves. Flicking to another camera point of view, this time of someone within their house, once again, documenting the things that are going on around their neighborhood. I must warn you again that the next sequence is not for the faint of heart. Tape 5 is purely audio, with what sounds like an appointment of some sort.
Well, hello again, Tiffany.
Oh, hi Wanda. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. No dad this time?
No.
We learned that this is a pregnancy ultrasound, and the mother sounds super excited to find out how much the baby has grown. We hear a sudden glitch in the audio, and then the baby disappears. The mother is helpless and confused, along with the doctor as well. The early stages of a panic attack set in, and a newspaper article pops up. Apart from the obvious terrifying nature of this occurrence, we can't really take much from this episode. One suggestion is that the baby was a thought form in itself, manifested by the mother who was so desperately wanting a child. This would explain the slight uncertainty that the mother gives off before the ultrasound takes place. We are going to touch on a moment of the disappearance a bit more, since there are some hidden messages inside of the distortion. The most noticeable one being a newspaper article that pops up for a fraction of a second. Although it's a blurry and barely readable article, one thing catches my eye. First of all, the picture on the left looks like a lifeless body. Strange. But when you skim over the text, the word Massachusetts pops up. Now, we know from the last episode that there was a break-in captured on video, which was part of a statewide emergency. This could be the newspaper article that is referencing this atrocity. So we can determine that the happenings in this tape, number 5, are taking place after the events in Massachusetts. Whatever is happening is spreading. We can't determine where this took place, but we can say for certain that the things are about to get out of control. This is tape 6. The episode involves two ends of a phone line, Paul and Frank. In the first voice message, we find out that Paul and his team have come across some ancient tunnels inside of a mountain whilst excavating. He explains that he took some of his crew in to take a look, however, one of the tunnels had caved in. They think nothing of it, but Paul promises to keep Frank updated with whatever they find.
Hey Frank, it's Paul again. The guy you sent out to take photos just left, but well, he seemed totally fine when he got here, but in fact we had to carry him back to his car when he was done. I don't know if he caught whatever's going around, but figured you should know. Also, we found some really old...
So now we learn that the crew is sick. It must have been a result of exploring the tunnels. They've been cursed, in an Egyptian tomb-esque kind of way. Furthermore, the path that was caved in is now clear. Whatever was behind the debris has found its way out. I have a feeling that whatever was behind the wall of stone was not meant to get out. He points out that the tunnel had been wired up with a few lights. Strange, because I'm pretty sure that an entity trying to break free would not stop to hang up some lights. This makes me think that a team snuck in there during the night to free whatever was stuck behind the fallen rocks. But I don't think this was a normal team. This had to be a secret group. And not just any group. This has to be the works of Unit 13 or the government. Something is not right here. We learn that the ancient tunnels are definitely responsible for the crew falling sick, as the guy who was sent to take the pictures also gets sick. As the messages go on, Paul gets more and more distressed. Paul claims that he saw the thing, a stalker, an entity, a thought form. We are then introduced to the hunting cam, which I assume has been placed in the woods to try and catch this entity. All it picks up are some clouds of dust, or are they? In tape 3, we are made aware of the fact that these thought forms don't necessarily take on the appearance of a physical being. Maybe what we just saw was one of them. Once again we are shown the hunting cam, and once again we see another potential thought form. However, this time it seems to create the same distortion that we have seen across the series. I must warn you that the sounds you're about to hear come straight from the depths of the underworld.
Authorities continue to investigate the recent crime wave that swept across northern Berkshire County.
Tape 7 once again alerts us to the crime wave happening in Berkshire, Massachusetts. Here it is again. The distortion, backed up by the news report saying everyone is safe. This has to be the work of the thought forms. This media channel is being interrupted and the general public are being falsely reassured. As seen in tape 5, we are once again flashed with newspaper articles regarding the recent events. The first one touches on the loss of the baby once more, but the second one is much more horrifying.
These events are only the tip of the iceberg, says Jim Melgren, a former police officer who now works as a private investigator. He hosts a radio show centered around government transparency and accountability. There are horrifying reports of people, healthy grown adults, becoming deformed, growing extra limbs, teeth, out of their scalp. People developing severe mental conditions.
Well, that broadcast went completely tits up, didn't it? I've been getting chewed out by our asshole CIA liaison for the past 2 hours. What the fuck happened?
We're looking into it, sir, but we experienced no issues with the broadcast on our end, so our engineers believe that the signal was hijacked before even reaching the transmitter, but once we started receiving phone calls from viewers, we switched to a backup transmitter.
But by then, the hijacker had already said everything they wanted to say, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
So, what we learned from the start of tape 8 is that the events that occurred in the tape before were never meant to happen. They were taken over, and much to Alan's distress, they had said something they wanted to say. Most of what was said was reassurance for the public, so maybe the news broadcast was meant to be the opposite. Maybe there was cause for concern, and the point of the program was meant to alert the public to imminent emergency. Whoever took over the channel wanted to cause the public to drop their guard, especially after the showing of an emergency broadcast system we saw back in tape 4. Wait, 1987? Isn't that about the time of the ancient tunnels happenings? You're damn right it was.
I was hired due to my background in anthropology and archaeology. I've worked to excavate a number of different historical sites. Paul Morelli took me on after securing a government contract for the GREYLOCK project. I'm recording this because I believe my life is in danger, and I likely don't have a lot of time left, so I need to leave some kind of record of my findings. On March 24th, our crew came across tunnels in the mountain that held a multitude of ancient...
So, if you remember back in 1987, Paul expressed his concern with a tunnel that had been miraculously cleared, with lights strung up outside. It wasn't the work of his crew, it was the work of someone unknown. Originally I thought it was the work of a secret government organisation, however the term offerings paints a different picture inside of my head. Perhaps it was a cult that worshipped these thought forms. We learned that the thought forms behind this caved-in tunnel were not here to do any good either. They sent the crew mad, made the food rot, and by the last tape, well, God only knows what happened to the crew after that. Whatever is going on, massacring these people, is turning them into monsters. We are shown a compilation of different people that have been affected, and believe me, the effects of whatever this atrocity is are horrendous. Arnold seems to think it's the government after him. That's what I thought, but now knowing what we know now, well, that was a bit of a mouthful. We know damn well it's not the government, but something much worse.
The bedroom closet.
This is tape 9. It starts off with what looks like an ad for some sort of technology, household technology, so I'm guessing something small. As the ad goes on, we realise that this technology being provided is in partnership with Semiodyne USA. Wait, Semiodyne? I'm sure we've heard this name before. So this is the technology that they're trying to send out to the households of America? The Thoughtform Manifesto? This cannot be good. With everything we've seen so far, this Thoughtform business is definitely not good. Whatever group is behind this definitely does not have good intentions at all. It seems like they won't let anyone get in the way of the distribution of this technology, not even the president. This puts the hammer on the nail for the group being government run for sure. Well, not government run. It does mean that whoever the group is, they are evidently not stopping at nothing. Are these the people that broke into the tunnel? Maybe they needed whatever was behind the rocks at the entrance of the cave. Whatever or whoever was behind the rocks are being used for the production of this technology. And if you put 2 and 2 together, whatever this plan is has the sole purpose of causing malice to the general public. I'm assuming that the footage you're about to see takes place a little after the distribution of these Thoughtform manifestos. I'm not going to say much and I'll just let you watch for yourself.
clean them for you. Yes, they look all shiny and new now. Here, come get them. Then you'll be able to see me.
Where are they? I still can't really see because my eyes are so bad.
You reach out and I'll put them into your hand. Okay?
Okay.
Closer. Just a little bit closer.
So, there we have it. Greylock. This series was a journey. With what started as some uncanny tapes with zero to no context, we were able to dive a little deeper into these details and hidden backstories. I'd definitely give this series a 10 out of 10. The editing, the voice acting and the storyline are downright terrifying. Like I said, an analog horror series like this is very hard to come by nowadays, but every so often you stumble upon gold. Thank you all for watching this video, and if you made it this far, why not leave a like? Let me know what your favourite part of this series was in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.